I am back again. Welcome back. And I did one extra loop. That's it. And I found almost everything I wanted. Let me bring up my inventory. So you see, I have the most important thing out of this is right there. Those are the purple lotus orbs. Basically, those are knockout gas. And that will allow me to recruit team members without having to use this, which is a steel truncheon, the recruitment tool of choice. I'll show you how that works when we get into actually capturing, recruiting a team member. I'll show you how that works and why it's one of the problematic aspects of the game. But I got a whole bunch of hardened steel hatchets, one of which I will use, two of which I will save for either later use or to disassemble into hardened steel when I get to that point where I can start dismantling items. So I can actually throw away some stuff. I actually also got a steel short sword and two steel poignards, which are the upgrades from the stone daggers. So I'm going to put one of those in there, throw away the stone daggers. I'll put a steel cleaver where my stone cleaver is, throw away the stone cleaver. I will start throwing away some of these other weapons that I don't really need for me, and I don't want to save until I actually get a fighting team member. I did grab one of these. This is a steel repair hammer. I mentioned that if you are on an official server, your bases will decay, and a repair hammer is what you need to actually fix that decay. I'm not going to use that because, like I said, I don't have decay here on my private server. I did grab a protected torch so I can actually put light outside where my workstations are going to be. And even throwing all of that stuff away, I'm still over, in fact, I'm at 65% encumbrance. So I am going to wind up using this in a little bit because I've decided that I'm going to take the time to start building my little platform here for my recruitment station so that I can take advantage of all of that ironstone that's around there to start that journey step, the blacksmith step. So to do that, I also got a steel pick. I'll throw away my stone pick. Alright, to do that, I'm going to need a lot of stone and wood. So I'm going to go ahead and start apparently grabbing the wrong thing. There we go. I'm going to start getting a decent amount of stone, and then I'll chop down some trees there. I'll go over and use my new sickle over there where I can get lots of plant fiber. Because I'll also build a little bit of a shelter to protect myself against sandstorm while I'm out here doing my recruitment work. I'm filling up really quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll chop down the tree using my stone axe instead of the hardened steel one. Because I'm going to need enough material to build a decent size foundation platform and a smelter station. Alright, I'm 84. There should be enough wood. I'll grab a little bit more stone. Maybe a 90, a little bit more. I'll wait until a little bit later to grab the plant fiber because I won't need it until I actually built the platform. I want to get every bit of resource I need to build the platform first. And 98, we'll call that good. Alright. So now I want to switch over, put my construction hammer somewhere where I can use it. And all right, I want this to be right about at the, that seems to be about the highest point right here. So now we've got 3 by 3. I want a 4 by 5. And that already got rid of all of my stone. Luckily, this place is just swimming in it. Everywhere in the Exiled lands. With the exception of once you get out into the jungle. It's a little bit more difficult to get stone there, but it's still not challenging. But certainly anywhere around here in the desert or in the highlands or so on, you're just loaded with stone. Alright, I notice it's 5 o'clock again. Alright, I am going to adjust the settings on my day and night because I really don't like how quickly the days are going by. Alright, there we go. Now, do I have enough? First off, do I know how to make a smelting station? And I don't. So I need to get to knowledge. Alright, start with the journey step. Or the journey. So I want to go to blacksmith. I need to unlock the blacksmith knowledge, which I just did. Access or place a furnace. That's what it's called, not a smelting station. So let me see whether or not. So now all of your workstations and everything else are in crafting stations. The only thing I know is how to make an altar because I am a follower of Mitra, and I do have enough stone. I can make a furnace. So that's what I'm going to do to start with. I think I will put it right over into this corner here. And since it's dark, I will go ahead and cut this off. I'll come back when it's morning, and in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and change my settings so that days last a lot longer, nights continue to go by quickly. So I will see you in a little bit. And welcome back, folks. While I was away at night, I built this really quick shelter. That way I can be protected if a sandstorm hits while I'm out here doing my recruiting. So in the blacksmith's journey, my next step is to go harvest ironstone. There's plenty of it right over there. So that's where we're going to go. I'll bring up my pick. Oh, and actually probably should have put some of that stuff away. I need to create a wooden box to go in there as well. But now I need to obtain fuel. This used to be harvest coal, and it would only work unless you went and found some coal somewhere. Now it can be any fuel. You could go chop down a tree. You know, anything that can be used to burn will work in the furnace. But since I've got coal right here, and it is the most efficient thing you can use to create iron. Alright, see now I'm overloaded, or almost overloaded. In fact, you know what? Let me go ahead and get over 100% there. Now, it says I'm over encumbered. That's me walking. That's me running. So we definitely need to either drop some stuff, which we will do, or use that lasting feast, and suddenly you see I'm now all the way down to 78% encumbered. I've got plenty of room to grab more ironstone. Particularly over here at my least favorite place to get it. There is ironstone and coal, or there are ironstone and coal nodes right up against that green wall of death. It's always a little nerve-wracking mining over here. So I'm getting really close to load it up, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit these spots that are not really that terribly close to it. That puts me at 99%. All right. We'll head back over to the furnace and actually start the next stage. The next journey step is smelt an iron bar. One of the reasons why I'm doing this over here is because I will need iron bars. So I put the ironstone and the coal, hit play, and you can see that it's actually making iron bars down here. I will need 50 of them, it's 50, to craft the the recruitment station that I need to put here. In fact, I might as well learn that while I'm right here. So let me bring up knowledge, survival. I'm going to scroll all the way down here to thrall taker. Not mincing words, you know, you are here to take a thrall. And this is where you can learn how to make a basic truncheon, the basic fiber bindings, thrall pot, which will be very important in a little bit, and the lesser wheel of pain. And that's what I'm going to put right here, the lesser wheel of pain. If you've watched the movie Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and if you are playing this game, of course you have, then you know that Conan is captured as a boy from his village in Samaria, and he is essentially broken on the Wheel of Pain, which in the movie is a very large four-post milling station where, you know, he and other thralls are chained to the posts on this milling station and forced to turn it to grind the wheat or whatever grain it is that they're, you know, particularly making. And he's on there until he turns into a young adult, you know, and goes from whoever the actor was as a kid to Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's basically how you recruit team members in this game. You knock them out somehow, either with a truncheon or the knockout gas. You use the bindings here to bind their ankles and drag them back to the recruitment wheel. The wheel of recruitment training, or whatever you want to call it, and put them on it. You have to give them food, which usually is just basic gruel. And actually, now that I think about it, I'll put a campfire down here so I can make some gruel. To be able to actually give to or put in the wheel of recruitment to have the fuel, essentially, the food that they need while they're working the wheel. And this is seeds, which you get from harvesting plants. I harvested with my steel sickle here the plants that were over there so that I could make the roof for this little mini shelter. So seeds and plant fiber and fuel. And see, it's producing gruel, which I will need. And let me see, we're up to 20. All right, it's going to take me a little while to make all of the iron bars I need to make that wheel of recruitment. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some more ironstone over there, and then some more stone, which I will need for the wheel of recruitment. These aren't exactly hidden, but they are within a bunch of stands of that very tall elephant grass stuff right here. So you may not just notice that they're here if you're just running around this area. Although I guess this one actually stands out. This one isn't hidden at all. It is kind of funny that when you break apart one of those giant boulders, the detritus from actually harvesting it are huge. Like large enough that if they did in fact fall around you like they are doing, it would just completely crush you. But it's a fantasy game. Accuracy is not needed. Alright, so you see the campfire went out, which means that it's done making all the gruel. And for the amount of seeds that I had, that actually made, even though it showed that it was making 20, it made 210. So it's like making the weak wraps or any of the bandages. You know, you will make multiple when it says, you know, you're crafting one, that's more than one. The bandages are 3, these are 10 per. Let's see, I am going to need... Why did I want some more wood? I don't recall. Oh, I know why. I want to make a wooden box so I can store some of this stuff. So I'll go ahead and chop down some more of these trees. Actually, I really like the game's commitment to the look of the environments. You know, these are the trees. You've got palms whenever there's water in the desert area. When we get up into the highlands, you'll see that there are pine trees and deciduous trees of various types. So, good on the developers here. See, that's enough to make a decent size. Helps if I grab the right tool. I'm just a regular wooden box. Oh, I haven't done the journey step that will teach me how to make the larger wooden boxes. Alright, for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and dump a whole bunch of stuff in here. I'm going to need to pick it up later on. Because I don't want to leave this stuff around. Put the iron head arrows in there. I now have more steel arrows, and those will do more damage. So I definitely want to keep those. I guess I can put the stone in here. I don't need that right at the moment. I will need it when I'm making the wheel of recruitment. And these potions weigh a lot. I guess while I'm at it, I might as well go ahead and swap out my hatchet with this hardened steel hatchet. Didn't find a skinning knife, so I still need my stone skinning knife. I did find steel short sword, and I'm going to put that in where the shield goes. I'm going to toss the shield, because until I learn how to make a better shield, I don't really need it. I'm not going to go after anything that's going to be that challenging. Alright, I'm up to 51, and these are right where I want to put my wheel of recruitment, so let's throw them away somewhere else. Oh, and by grabbing the iron bars, I move to the next journey step. Grab the stone. I think I need twine. And I only have 40. I think I need more twine than that. In fact, I probably need more than what I'm going to be able to make out of just that. But let's go ahead and craft that anyway. And let's find out. So now if we go into crafting stations, I now have companions. Oh, I need more wood. I actually have all the twine I need, but I do need more wood. Alright. Alright, hardened steel hatchet. Your time to shine. That got me, just those two trees using a hardened steel hatchet got me really close to what I need. So you can see how much more resource you gather. Oh, while I was away, I also did change my day-night cycle. So my days are going to last way longer, and my nights are going to be even shorter. Let's see if that was enough. Oh, that's under decorations. Yes, it was. All right. I'm going to put on a lesser wheel of pain, as close to the corners as I can. I'm sorry, lesser wheel of recruitment. Into that, I will go ahead and place some of the gruel, but I'm going to save some of it because I want to, when I get to this journey step of doing that. Access or place a blacksmith's bench. Alright, I'm not going to do that right here. So what I will do is move over to the Thrall Taker journey. So I need to access the Wheel of Pain. I need to make a truncheon. Oh, since I already have one, it determined apparently that I've already made one. Yeah, and binding, since I already have binding. So now I need to use a truncheon to knock out a fighter or archer. This would actually have been easier to do this step if I was back down by my base. But what I'll try to do is find a level 1 fighter or archer, ideally that person that's right up at that gate, because he'll be so far away from anybody else that he's not going to attract the aggro of any of the others. If you attack any of these non-aggro people in Seppermaru, they will, all of them that are within the aggro range will come after you. So I need to put my truncheon into a spot, my leather bindings into a spot. I'm not going to use the purple orb because I need to actually use the truncheon, otherwise it won't trigger this journey step. Alright, dude, please be a level 1 or 2. 2. Alright, I think I can knock out a level 2. Let's find out if I can do this without him killing me. Oh yeah, he's going down fast. That gray bar is his consciousness bar, I guess would be the right term. Alright, now it says convert a warrior. So what I would do is I would use my binding, and once I'm pointed at him, I hit the E key, and see, he's bound. Now I'm going to change that because I don't want this guy. Now I'm going to put onto my bar the purple lotus orb. And now I'm going to see if I can find one of the two named fighters that are here. I'm not going to recruit a fighter. I'm not going to take this journey step, convert a warrior, until I get one. Using the purple orbs, you can knock them out without triggering their aggression. So I'm going to do that, drag them back to my recruitment station, and start right out of the gate with a tier 4 named fighter. None of those are, just to see who that is. No, it's an apprentice. All right. Let's see if I run across either of these two anywhere where there is a fighter. I'll go across the bridge because there's a couple of fighters over there. Plus I also need to get some water. Normally when I do this, I would also be running up and down to get all of the items in the chests. Ooh, nope, that's a 3. But I'm not going to do that right now because it would slow things down so much. I could do this entire run and not run across either of the two tier 4s. Which would be a shame, but that's the way it goes. I don't know that I've ever seen either of them over here where they're watching the dancer. Even though this is labeled as a dancer, when they're over here, they're doing generally the other part of the entertainer, which is a storyteller. Alright, what are the odds? I don't, did I miss the other one? Oh yeah, they're over there. I don't really need to run all the way up this close. I recognize enough of what they look like that if it's, you know, they're both women, so if it's a dude, you know, and obviously a dude, particularly like that one over there, a dude with a bald head, you know, I don't need to run over and check because I know it won't be the person I'm looking for. Also, if it's one of these people who are wandering, they're going to wander out of the range of your knockout gas, so I really would hope it's not one of those people. I don't think it's ever actually been that I've ever seen any of the guards that are in here in the prison, but there's a 3. But I'll check just to be sure, because they are just standing around. Can I get around him? I can. All right. Now sometimes it's this funny little bit of archery training. Funny. There might be one of them in here. Bunch of 3s, but not the tier 4 that I'm looking for. I have seen one of them show up here. Ooh, yes. All right. Mandugai 100 arrow. This is definitely one of the ones that I want. I can shoot straight back there. That's pretty easy. So I am going to bring up the purple lotus orb and my binding and just toss it right down at their feet. And you'll notice it'll take a little while, but their consciousness bar, the gray bar, will start to go down pretty quickly. Mandugai might only require 1 orb. Or, now that I think about it, both of these, they will get down to about 25% before the effects of the orb disappear. You can then knock them out, but you will trigger every one of these other... Yeah, see, so I need to use the second orb. You'll trigger every one of these other guards that are right around here to come and kill you. And I want to avoid that. And that's not what I wanted to do. All right. See, they're unconscious. I've got my binding E key. They're now bound. And basically, no matter how much I drag them around these other people, it won't matter. They will not aggro or apparently even be aware that you're dragging one of their comrades right by them. Now, the durability of the bindings wears down based on the quality of them. If this was a fiber binding, I would probably just barely be able to make it back to where my recruitment station is before the binding breaks. Then there's rawhide binding, and then this binding, which I found in one of the chests, which is the leather binding. Leather bindings last quite a while. You can see it's hardly dropping it at all, and I'm about halfway back to my recruitment station. And so we drag poor Mandugai around all the people who don't really care that their beloved comrade is tied by the ankles and being dragged through the dirt. Oh well. Just because they're not aggressive doesn't mean they're sympathetic. Or empathetic. All right, once I put Mandugai up here on the wheel, it'll trigger that journey step. So there is gruel, there's food, and Mandugai is in here. So I click play, and now you can see she's pushing the wheel. You can also see she is now dressed in the same sort of rags that I'm dressed in. Unfortunately, that really good-looking solid armor that she was wearing just disappears. You don't get it once you put somebody on the wheel. It's like it never existed for some reason. You don't get their weapons or anything like that. Now, Mandugai is a agility-based fighter. So I have still, I believe, an extra set of poignards in here. So that's what I'm going to give her to fight with. I do need to get food for her other than gruel. Gruel will work, but the best food, I'm not sure where I can get any right easily here, is the grilled steak. The second best would be the haunch, which you can get from these guys. So I'm going to see if I can, you know what, let me bring up my short sword. Sometimes that's happened. They're doing something and they just get stuck in a loop. All right, so I'm going to bring up my daggers. He's going to try to race at me. He got stuck. I'll take being stuck. That way he's got to bleed. I'll run away again. I'll swap to my short sword, which also has a bleed now that I think about it, so I could have used the short sword. Oh, he went down a lot easier than I thought. All right. I am going to need my... I'll use my skinning knife because I do want the thick hide as well. It only gave me 2 pieces of exotic flesh to make the roasted haunch, so I guess I'm going to use my cleaver on this next one. I think you do get a bleed with the short sword as well. Put a couple of bleeds on him, and then stab him, and then try to run away. If you do, the bleeds are definitely not nearly as effective as the ones on using the daggers. Let's see. Oh, no, you don't get a bleed. All right. So now I'm going to go with the cleaver. Yeah, see, I'm getting way more exotic flesh. Still not the full 50 that I would like. But
Yeah.
let's put some stuff away here. But it will be enough for the few journey steps that I need to take here. And yeah, no, that'll work. Once Mandugai is fully converted, or fully recruited, and I'll do a couple of steps that will advance me to the next stage, which is to get a crafter, and I'll go in and look for one of the tier 4 crafters. Doesn't matter which one at this point because I don't have any workstations yet. But when you convert them, the fighter becomes a follower, which goes out on the landscape, and you can only have one follower at a time that is a fighter or archer, a combatant. You can have a follower that is a pet. You can have a follower that is a horse or any other mount, a camel. So you can have 3 technically followers, but only one at any time that is a fighter or an archer, somebody who's going to be a combatant with you. So when I recruit the tier 4 crafter, they will come off of there and go into my inventory and stay in my inventory until we get back to the home base. At which point I will put them on the landscape, and then they will, well, since I don't have any craft stations, they won't go to any crafting stations. That will be my next steps, is setting up crafting stations back at the home base. This is going to take a while. I'll show you. Yeah. In all this time, Mandugai is only converted by maybe 10%, 12%. It's going to take a while for that to happen. So I am actually going to stop the recording here and come back when Mandugai is all properly trained in the recruitment training tool here for Early Adopter Incorporated. See you in a bit. And we're back, and you can see the wheel of recruitment has stopped moving, which means that Mandugai is ready to become a fully functioning part of Team Burly Adopter Inc. So I will remove her from the station. And you see these things, they actually, which makes sense, they weigh quite a bit. So that increased my encumbrance quite a lot. You will also probably, those of you who are experienced with the game, notice that I have moved my journey up to the next step, place a thrall in the world. I completely missed that, I needed to grab some gruel from here and then put it in here. Those are 2 journey steps that needed to happen. But I'm ready to place my thrall in the world. And again, to do that, you need to put anything you place in the world has to be on your hotbar. So these little green ghosts are where you can actually permanently, well, not permanently, but assign somebody to a spot, and they will stay there. You can guard doorways. I could actually assign Mandugai to work the campfire, even though Mandugai is not a cook, and so therefore wouldn't have any benefits to putting on any sort of cooking station, but it's possible. But I'm going to drop her right there. I'm going to get food for her. Oh, I'm going to get, you know what? Even though Mandugai is an agility fighter, and I'll show you that if I hold the E key down, it brings up this rotary wheel, and I can go to stats. The stats shows that she already has a 20 in agility, but she actually has a chance to grow her strength a little bit faster than she does her agility. So I am going to give her the agility weapon, steel poignards. Now, you see, she's an archer, so she also has this bow. I don't really want her as an archer. That doesn't work very well unless you are using an archer to defend a base or a purge base. But I can definitely use that bow. That goes from a 6 damage to a 10. She also has this Stygian Kopesh, which is not a bad weapon, but it's only health damage 16. The steel poignards are 20 per shot, and they do do quite a few more shots. She can take more attacks, do more attacks with those poignards than she could with a Kopesh. So I put the food in it. She automatically ate some of it because what that does is it actually gives her, you can see up in there's a buff, which is always cool. Now it says instruct a thrall to follow you. That happens again when you hold the E key down while you're aiming at them. And that's right there. The follow gesture is follow. All right, and Mandugai is now following me. Oh, you can also see that Mandugai right out of the gate in Mandugai's health bar, which is green, has 1,487 health points. So much more than I do. Which is why Mandugai is going to do most of the fighting. So now I need to instruct a thrall to attack. I'm also going to change the distance here. So here are all the ways. She is currently in withdraw, which is the archery thing. You shoot and back up. But I'm going to change that to chase your enemy. Have her follow me at a distance of 10 meters. Keep the attack and the chase at just 15 meters.
Yep.
And go get that guy. I'm also going to come in and help. Let's see how... Even though she has essentially no armor. Okay, well now that we've got 2, I'll come in and help. Well, that guy actually got me even though he wasn't really aiming at me. Alright. It brought her down to 90%, attacking 2 rhinos with essentially no armor. So, yeah. That is why I wait and recruit a tier 4 named fighter for my very first thrall. My very first team member, I should say. I'm going to skin both of these. Because again, I really want that hide. All right, and so now my next step is to convert a crafter. So I'm going to go up here. I will put that little bit of meat in there to cook for Mandugai. I will bring her to stand guard. Why not? Stand guard, guard the door. Because as I'm going after the crafter, I basically don't want there to be any chance that she is going to get aggression and cause any problems. I did a loop around while she was converting. It took a long time. So I ran around to the chests and I picked up a few more things. I got another set of leather bindings. I got some lights for my base, which is good. A reinforcement for when I do make a better shield. I think that's it. Oh, and the perfected steel mace, which I may wind up at times giving to Mandugai because it has an armor penetration that daggers just don't have. So if we're going up against skeletons or undead or things like that, You really need that armor penetration. Maces work really well against them. But for the time being, I will put that there. Oh, I need to just swap my bow. I picked up a bunch more steel arrows too. I'm going to put my bow and the khopesh in there. Alright. And I need to put my bindings, which is one that I've already started to use. There we go. Onto a hotbar. And just in case, I'm pretty sure I don't want to whack anybody with a steel cleaver. Alright, so now I'm going to run around and see if I can find a named crafter. And again, I don't have any workbenches, so it can be any crafter of any type. I'm going to need all of them eventually. I'm not going to place them on a bench until I've got a bench. So I guess I could even check to see whether or not one of these taskmasters is named. Is not. And so these people here, usually carpenters. Yeah, it's carpenter 1, dancer 1, dancer 1, armorer 1. This is an alchemist, and it could be, except it's not because it's a guy, it could be Iblis of Zingara, who is the named alchemist that you can find here. I'm not going to go after either of these two, even if they happen to be a named cook, which they're not, simply because, while it doesn't look like it, they are actually kneeling in water. And if I were to throw the orb right at their feet, or anywhere close enough that it will attack them, unless I threw it directly at them, I guess I could hit them with it. But it won't actually break. You'll just throw it into the water and throw it away, basically. I checked these two, right? Yeah. There is a tanner and a smelter over here who could be, but is not, and is not anybody I need. One of these could be Iblis as well, because these are all alchemists. Even if this was a tier 4 entertainer, they don't count as crafters. There's somebody here being yelled at. Inigo the Vengeful, right there, the tanner. All right. The last couple of playthroughs I did, it was really tough to find him. So now I want to bring up the orb. Oh, I actually showed you how to do that with Mandugai. It's going to knock out that tier 2 archer pretty quickly. But Inigo will definitely take 2 orbs to put him out. Hopefully you didn't hear that, but I was just chugging some coffee. Yeah, the game's AI isn't complex enough to know that, you know, that person is knocked out, so that person shouldn't be kneeling in front of them again to apologize for whatever they did. But not that complicated. Or sophisticated, I should say. So I'm going to get rid of the orbs so I don't accidentally throw them. I've done that. Sometimes these guards that are not aggressive to you will, for whatever reason, suddenly just become aggressive. It's pretty rare, but it does happen. And I've thrown an orb at one of them thinking that I had a weapon in that slot, and I didn't. Alright, so now Inigo is bound to be a perfect choice for my team. I'll drag him back. Now, frankly, I don't know how long I've actually been recording, because I've been stopping and starting the recording so much that I'm assuming I am well past the point where I would actually be calling this a video. So once I've got Inigo up on the wheel here, I am going to probably call this a video. And when I come back, I will probably have worked my way back to the main base. All right, so I'll get him going. So now I need to assign a crafting thrall to a station. You know what? I might just cut out here, wait till Inigo is done, and then take him back to the main base, and then show you. Well, I have to build a station. All right, I'll call it good. So we'll call it here. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this particular video in my playthrough series. And please do like and subscribe to Nerd Caliber if you like this stuff. If you didn't like this video, feel free to click the thumbs down. We're not going to see it, and it's considered engagement, so hey, good for us. But I hope you did like it, and I hope I will see you again in the next video. In the meantime, have fun and stay safe. Bye-bye.